Hi, my name is Catherine Rasmussen, and I am a student at Southern Utah University. And today I am presenting Franklin Industries Whistleblowing, a Giving Voice to Values case. First, let me introduce you to the company. The company is Franklin Industries. They are a publicly owned company, and they manufacture trusses and other structural components for home builders. Nellie Garson is a CPA who works for Franklin Industries. She was an assistant manager in her department. 7 months ago, someone in the accounting department brought to Natalie's attention some unusual transactions in the records between Denny King, who was the department manager, and Vic Construction, an outside company. Vic Construction was an unknown vendor, and there was no documentation of this vendor on record. The staff determined that $5 million in payments were issued to Vic Construction and authorized by Denny King. After some investigating, it was discovered that Vic Construction was owned by Victoria King, and it turned out that Victoria King and Denny King were siblings. Natalie took this information to the internal auditors, who investigated and came back with the conclusion that $5 million was funneled through Vic Construction and then later transferred back to Denny's own accounts. This was a $5 million embezzlement from Franklin Industries. After obtaining the information from the internal auditors, Natalie took her information to the controller of the company, Stuart Masters. The only action that took place after Natalie revealed her information to the controller was she was demoted from assistant manager to staff supervisor. Natalie filed a complaint with the Human Resource Department. She felt she was demoted due to a retaliation for whistleblowing. 6 months later, the Human Resource Department called Natalie to inform her of their decision, which was there was no retaliation. In fact, there was no embezzlement. Natalie was on her own. She was working for a company whose culture was, don't rock the boat. The board of directors were mostly insider directors, and the CEO was chair of the board. Whatever the CEO wanted, the board approved. Natalie needs to decide what is the best course of action. Let's assume that we are Natalie and we have decided to act on our values. What are the main arguments we are trying to counter? That is, what are the reasons and the rationalizations we need to address? One argument is that the company doesn't want the shareholders to know about this situation. The company may also reason that Denny did have permission to do these transactions all along. What is at stake for the key parties, including those who disagree with us? Well, if it is disclosed to the public that the stock prices, if this is disclosed to the public, the stock prices of the company could very well go down. Denny King could lose his job. The controller, Stuart Masters, could also be in trouble for not disclosing the information he had received from Natalie to the board of directors. What levers can we use to influence those who disagree with us? Bottom line, it is fraud. The executives are required to sign off on the financials that they are true and correct. If they sign the financials stating that they are true and correct, and they are not, the executives are committing an illegal act. It would be better to bring it to the attention of those who need to know about it now than have it come up later and have it classified as a cover-up. What is our most powerful and persuasive response to reasons and rationalizations we need to address? To whom the argument should be made, and when and in what context? The most powerful response is that it is a requirement to have full disclosure of accurate financial statements for the publicly held company. A relationship between a company and its shareholders should be one of trust. The company should have ethical standards that best protects its investors. The argument should be made to those in the board of directors as soon as possible, so that the problem can be resolved and the company can maintain its good standing. Assume that we do not want to go to the board of directors because we're afraid of being fired. Do we have enough information or a sufficient standing to file a whistleblower's claim with the SEC under the Dodd-Frank Act? Yes, I believe we do have enough information. The fraud amount is material. The internal auditors investigated and agreed that it was an embezzlement. Natalie herself is an accountant, and she has a duty to protect the public's interest. The fraud will cause substantial injury to the financial interest of the entity and to its investors. The fraud was reported internally. It has been over 120 days, and the company is not investigating. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have enjoyed this video.